Why do successful, career-driven women so often attract weak or insecure men, almost like a magnet? Are they doomed to be unhappy in love? Hi, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Anna, and I'm certified relationship coach based in Germany. And on this channel, I explore relationship dynamics through popular movies and TV shows, helping you understand complex psychological patterns using well-known characters and stories. And this is my Sex and the City series. So far, we have already explored relationship patterns of Mr. Big, Gary, Samantha, and a little bit of Charlotte. And in today's video, we are diving into another fascinating character, Miranda. Oh my, that will be so fun and so sad at the same time. We are going to take a closer look at Miranda's marriage with Steve. Steve is often portrayed as a soft and good guy in the series. But was he really the right match for Miranda? And why did she choose him in the first place? I also want to thank you for your engagement and for sending in such great questions. Today I will be answering one of them. Why didn't Miranda choose her neighbor, Dr. Robert? This one actually tells us a lot about who Miranda truly is. So, who is Miranda? Miranda is a young and attractive career-oriented woman. She is a Harvard Law School graduate who becomes a successful corporate lawyer. And from my point of view, among all four women, Miranda had one of the strongest starts, right after Charlotte. She was actually the first of them to buy a beautiful apartment in Manhattan completely on her own. You could say Miranda is the woman with incredible resources, potential, and drive. And that is why it is especially sad to see that after all her hard work, Miranda ends up deeply disappointed. By her marriage to Steve, his affair, her ongoing guilt about her son, and the financial and lifestyle decline she faces in the end. While her friends seem to move forward, Carrie finally gets her dream man. Charlotte finds domestic harmony with Harry and their two daughters, and Samantha maintains her self-defined independence. Miranda's life becomes heavier. She becomes financially and emotionally responsible for everyone, her son, her husband, and even his mother. She gets trapped in the caretaker identity she unconsciously created for herself, constantly overperforming. The irony is that the very qualities that once represented her freedom, her self-reliance, her intellect, her need for control, end up becoming her prison. How did this happen? Let's break it down. I strongly believe that the turning point in Miranda's story is her relationship with Steve. As the saying goes, the wrong partner can cost you more than money, and this applies perfectly to both of them. Not only does Miranda pay a high price for this relationship, Steve has his own bills to pay as well. But why? Why out of all the men she met did Miranda choose Steve? What pulled them together like a magnet? If you are an attractive woman, you're likely to attract all kinds of men. Successful and not so successful, reliable and unreliable, childish, family-oriented, you name it. Samantha and Carrie, just like Miranda, dated plenty of not so successful, irresponsible men through the series. And even if Miranda was the least glamorous of the four and often struggled with her femininity, it would be wrong to say she wasn't attractive. Across the series, many men showed interest in her, including some decent ones. Yet the men who actually stayed in Miranda's life for a longer time, from Skipper to Steve, were usually not the most remarkable partners. The reason for this wasn't her looks or her career. What truly set Miranda apart from the other three women was her negative mindset. No successful, confident, emotionally healthy man is going to spend his time trying to convince a woman that he is not a jerk. He will simply and politely disappear from her life. The negativity that radiated from Miranda was sometimes unbearable to watch. In complete contrast stood Charlotte. Her strength came from unwavering belief that good, decent men do exist. She was guided by faith in relationships, and faith in love. No matter what happened, Charlotte never let cynicism take root in her heart. And in the end, she met Harry. Not exactly the Prince Charming she once imagined, but the man who truly made her happy. Miranda's outcome was different. It was precisely her negative beliefs about men that attracted the kind of man willing to tolerate them. So where does this negativity come from? A negative mindset toward men isn't just cynicism or feminism gone bitter. Negative beliefs about men and relationships are a classic defense. If you assume people will fail you, You feel less vulnerable. You're prepared. It creates the illusion of control over the unknown and protects you from emotional exposure. Miranda relied on sarcasm, skepticism, and criticism to keep people at distance and protect her inner child. Her self-image was split in two. On the outside, she was a high-achieving lawyer who valued competence and equality, and who said she wanted a strong, reliable, emotionally mature man. But on the inside, she carried an insecure, self-protective inner child who didn't truly believe she was lovable without performing, who felt safe only when she was in control or intellectually superior.
Don't you want to go out with a girl your own age?
It's got nothing to do with age. I think you're luminous.
You think I'm luminous?
Totally.
Miranda couldn't resist the vision of herself reflected in Skipper's slightly smudged lenses.
All right, let's get out of here.
Okay, yeah, let me just pay for my Captain Crunch.
There's cereal at my place.
The show doesn't tell us much about her childhood, but the little we know suggests emotional distance, little affection, and high expectations. The kind of environment that creates adults who are very independent but emotionally insecure.
I'm all alone, Carrie. The first people on my call in case of emergency list are my parents, and I don't like them. And they live in Pennsylvania.
And this brings us to Miranda's attachment style. Everything we discussed is a hallmark of avoidant attachment, the kind that develops when caregivers are distant, inconsistent, or unable to meet a child's emotional needs. This is how Miranda's avoidant attachment shows up in her adult life. She's hyper-independent, downplays her emotions, and refuses to rely on anyone. Avoidants often end up with partners who tolerate distance, who are less confident, less demanding emotionally, and willing to accept limited intimacy. Steve fits this pattern perfectly: patient, non-confrontational, and low demand. But this is exactly why I think Steve was absolutely terrible match for Miranda. Not because she made more money, or because he was just a bartender and she was a lawyer. The real issue goes much deeper. They couldn't be the kind of partners they truly needed to be for each other. Instead of growing together, they reinforced each other's negative patterns. Steve's ability to go along with Miranda's defenses initially disarm her, but over the time his lack of initiative reinforces her mental framework. If I don't take care of the things, everything will fall apart. For healing, she needed to learn how to open up, be vulnerable, and let go. But with a partner like Steve, her avoidant patterns only deepened, and she ended up stuck in the same cycle of overfunctioning and exhaustion. What we eventually see is emotional disconnection and kind of functional coexistence in their marriage. That is why Miranda doesn't even want to sleep with Steve in the first place, not noticing that they didn't have sex for more than a half year. From Steve's side, their marriage isn't a pony road either. Let's take a look at why Steve chose Miranda from a psychological standpoint. Not because she was his ideal match. Steve has stable, low self-esteem, and Miranda fitted his internal narrative. I'm not enough unless I work for it, and I prove I'm worthy. Miranda, critical, demanding, guarded, gave him a role he recognized, trying to earn approval and prove his value.
Thank you. One quick question and I'm out of here. Why do you hate guys so much?
Excuse me?
We just met, so I know that ain't all about me. Wait.
What? What do you want?
I just want to get to know you better. Do me a favor. Can you for 1 second believe that maybe I'm not some full of shit guy? That maybe I do like you? That maybe the other night was special? Do you think that maybe you can believe that?
No. Maybe I've just slept with too many bartenders.
Steve has a clear inner conflict. From the start, his identity is tied to the traditional male provider role. Yet his social and economic status and his personality, he's more laid back, nurturing, and less ambitious, make it impossible for him to fully live up to that role. The dissonance between self-concept, I should be the provider, and reality, she earns, decides, and leads, generates shame and resentment. Steve, while kind-hearted and secure attached, what on paper is perfect combination for avoidant, lacked the emotional and ego security to stand beside a partner like Miranda. He isn't the supportive partner Miranda needs, happy to play that role, because deep down he's highly affected by his own unfulfilled ambitions.
Go grab us a seat outside and I'll meet you out there.
Will you let me pay this time?
No. Your money's no good here. Go grab us a bench.
All right.
How much?
$5.90.
Oh!
Sorry, sir, it was declined. Would you like to try another one?
Why don't you try one of mine?
No. All right, how about this? Let's try 800 on the card. I'll write you a check for 1,000, and I'll give you the rest in cash.
Steve, forget it. It's too expensive.
No, would you just let me buy the fucking suit?
And that is where Steve's affair coming from. Cheating is not always about desiring another partnership or falling in love. In Steve's case, cheating provided a sense of autonomy and desirability for a very, very short moment. It is an attempt to reclaim selfhood and fulfill abandoned needs outside the Miranda system. His infidelity was not random. It is a pressure release and an attempt to break out of destructive cycle. But in the end, it reinforces the dynamic and made the situation even worse. Miranda reassets control by deciding whether to forgive or not, while Steve reverts to shame and dependency. They activate each other's wounds, and that is why they're absolutely terrible for each other. Interestingly, Steve and Miranda did have a real chance at happy, healthy relationship during the series, just not with each other. Steve found warmth and stability with Debbie, a kind, affectionate partner who matched his emotional openness.
I'm real glad everything worked out. You and Robert, me and Steve, because I really love him.
Miranda had the opportunity for a secure, balanced relationship with her charming, successful, and emotionally reliable neighbor, Dr. Robert. So why didn't Miranda choose the doctor, who clearly had everything she struggled to find in a partner? Once again, avoidant attachment explains everything. When things came emotionally intimate with Robert, especially when he said, "I love you," it activated Miranda's deepest fears. With him came the possibility of true partnership, long-term potential, emotional intimacy, equality, and general stability. Robert didn't want surface-level affection. He wanted a real connection, and he wouldn't settle for the crumbs Miranda felt safe giving.
Take tomorrow off.
From work? I don't do that.
Just think about it. Brady's with his dad. I don't have to work until 7. We can spend the whole day together. I bet you have a few personal days stored up. Just think about it.
That kind of relationship offered Miranda growth, but she was not emotionally prepared for it. Secure love requires vulnerability, openness, and willingness to be seen. Miranda wasn't ready for any of that. At the same time, Steve suddenly became unavailable because he was happily involved with Debbie, a perfect escape from an emotional challenge. Steve became desirable again precisely because he wasn't fully there, he wasn't fully accessible. And that is exactly why it was easier for Miranda to say "I love you" to Steve. Funny enough, Miranda and Steve's dynamic actually mirrors Carrie and Big, but in reverse. Carrie became desirable to Big when she was less available. In the end, Miranda chooses old patterns and unhealed wounds over real chance for happiness. And you know, I didn't really enjoy it and just like that, but one scene stayed with me. Miranda asks Steve for divorce, and he says, "Is it really happening?" And that moment felt so painfully true to their relationship. Not the part about Miranda suddenly turning bisexual. That felt like an attempt to replace Samantha by switching their roles and making Miranda responsible for bringing sexual spark to the show. Well, yeah, that didn't work. But Steve and Miranda's divorce? That felt real to me. What do you think? That was it. Thank you for watching until the end. Who should I analyze next? Subscribe so you don't miss the next videos. See you soon.